Hello, Miranda. Hello, Tammy. Hey, Sarah. Alright, let's see. Oops. Alright, I did, thank you. I hope you did as well. Alright. Sarah, it's not letting me add you. Alright, ladies, bear with us. Sarah's having technical difficulties.
Hey, so Facebook is dumb. I was having something weird kind of happen, honestly. Oh my gosh, can I hear you?
I can
Good, I can hear you.
finally see you, but not on my phone. I can only see you on the computer.
I can't see on my phone either. I was telling Angel that I think that Facebook just literally changed it to where we can't see each other.
I feel like that's the truth. But when I tried to do it with my computer, it wouldn't let us do it together.
That was exactly what was happening with Angel and I also. So yeah, she tried to go live with a computer, it wouldn't work. I got a notification that popped up that we were live, and that you were live, and I clicked on it, and then it worked, and then it kicked me out of the live, and then every time I clicked on your live, it brought me into a live of a pastor like preaching in a giant church, and I was like, I don't know what's happening, and so I like closed Facebook, and I like reopened Facebook, and then the notification was gone, and I couldn't see you on Unseen anymore, and I was like, dude, I don't know what's going crazy. I had to go to your personal Facebook, and I clicked on your face on your personal Facebook to join the live.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So I have no clue. Facebook is just dumb. But hello, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Well, welcome back.
And if you're watching this on replay, welcome. And you can feel free to comment throughout the live as if it is live. And if it's on YouTube, you can drop a comment and we will see that.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start with, once again, going over our last program. I am, and so is Sarah, glad that the newcomers enjoyed the program. We felt that there was great communication and keeping up within the group chat polls.
Yeah, those were pretty good.
We also felt there was an all-around growth amongst each partner within their partnerships, and everybody was overall very pleased with this partnership and looked forward to more to come, which was great to hear. So thank you for that on our end.
Yeah, that was good. For y'all's feedback, going over like your responses from the form that we submit at the end of every partnership because we value what you guys have to say and we try to work the program really around what works for everybody because if not, then there's not really a program. So in regards to everybody enjoyed participating, everybody said yes. People enjoyed really being able to push outside of like their comfort zone in a growth orientated way. Also, there were people that tried out the video calling and that worked really well and everybody enjoyed it. So I'm so glad that people tried out the video call because I know a lot of people were really wanting to do that. And then also we had people that finally got partnered with people that they were really looking forward to be partnered with to try to learn new things. And so that's always really cool when you get a partner that you're really wanting. And then also people enjoyed learning new styles of reading. I know that's something that I enjoy in a partnership, being partnered with different people. You see sort of people's different personal styles reflect their readings. Like Cheyenne said, there was great communication. There was no issues with communication. For program improvements, somebody requested a follow-up system to see like if the reading reads true later on. And that can be done by, if you join the partnership again, like the following partnership after the last one, you can just send a message in the group chat to your partner asking about the reading, or you can send a message in the group chat to your partner asking if you can reach back out again in private message. Or maybe if you don't plan on signing up for the next partnership, you could just ask your partner, hey, in like 2 weeks, can I send you a message about the reading? And then they'll let you know if they're comfortable for you to follow up or not. So instead of like having like a official system for follow-ups, more if you're wanting that, reach out in either the group chat to your partner or to Cheyenne or we could reach out to your partner if that's something that's easier for you to go through like a third party.
Absolutely. I also want to say hello to Natasha and welcome, Mom, to our live. I see you guys just popped on.
So also, if my camera randomly shakes, Gandalf is really being cuddly down here. So that's that. Suggestions for future lives. Nobody had really any suggestions, but there was some excitement about our upcoming lives over the non-traditional meanings of the tarot cards. And I can say for myself that I'm definitely excited for that, because that's going to be, those lives are going to be really like kind of conversation based. To give like a little sneak peek, we'll just be sort of pulling through cards, and like Cheyenne and I are just going to be like trying to like talk about different things that we see in the cards and how maybe we would interpret them, because it's kind of different with every deck, non-traditional. And then
Absolutely.
everybody's, oh, sorry. Not being able to see you is a pain.
That's why anybody
would,
who's watching, I'm constantly looking to my left so I can see Sarah.
Yeah, not being able to see each other has become a really annoyance, and there's like nothing else to really do, because I genuinely think Facebook changed things like that. But everybody said they would participate again.
Overall, it was great, and that everybody looks forward to the next ones. And I also want to say hello to Giselle for hopping on. Glad you could catch us.
So let's hop into today's live specifically. Today's live, we're going to be going over some specific types of readings, starting with the heavily requested past life and aura readings. So we'll probably in future lives go over different types of readings as well, but these are just really what we wanted to dive into because they were so requested. But we're going to be diving into each one individually, breaking them down into bite-sized pieces. So let's go ahead and dive in. So for aura readings, what is an aura reading? An aura reading is where what is an aura tarot reading? Let me say it like that. And so that is where you take an aura reading and a tarot reading combined to make a more comprehensive and personalized reading. And so an aura reading by itself is either physically capturing the aura or intuitively perceiving the colors and patterns surrounding the individual. Each color has a specific meaning and interpretations. So using tarot cards to do a tarot oracle, oh my gosh. Using tarot cards to do a tarot aura reading is helpful because the tarot cards help gain insight from the aura reading to more continue on with this interpretation. So basically the aura reading provides the framework for understanding the individual's overall energetic state and their aura, while the tarot cards provide more specific guidance and insight into these particular areas of concern. So Sorry, I about kept going. But so basically, what I'm saying in a long, rambly kind of way is we're taking regular, just aura readings with no tarot cards, and then taking a tarot reading, like any type of reading, and smashing them together to really dive deeper, is what I'm saying.
Does anybody have any questions about that before we go into the background, a little more background on aura readings?
I'm so glad that I can see comments on my phone. So,
So far, unless I am missing any between Giselle's
that's the
and
last one I
my
see.
mom's, I think I'm caught up.
Yeah, Giselle just said, oh, she likes that, and there's a bunch of hearts. So I think that nobody has any questions.
All right, so going on with some background with aura readings, understanding aura readings, you understand that everything has an energy field, such as humans, animals, plants, etc. Ooh, Mom has a good question. Do you want to answer that one?
I was gonna let you, unless you want me to. So I'm gonna say her question, just in case you're watching on YouTube, is does everyone see auras? So to answer this question, I'm gonna answer it, but I'm not gonna answer it. So we'll see what Cheyenne has to say afterwards. It really depends on what you believe. So we can take the everyone has a little magic in them perspective, or we can take the everyone has certain gifts and abilities, but not everyone has one perspective. So it really depends on what you believe in your core practice of whether everyone has the ability to see auras, but maybe not everybody has their gift tuned up, so to speak, or has practiced seeing it. So you could believe that maybe everybody has the ability to see them, or maybe it's only some people have the gift to see them. But I couldn't answer that question for you because it depends on your core practice. Cheyenne, if you would like to add.
Yeah, and everybody can, if you go, no matter which direction you do go, because I'm right there with Sarah on that, you might see them in a different form or fashion, and if you're not seeing them, your focus might be the issue, because you really do have to be truly focused on what you're looking at.
I said a minute ago, but I might have said it a little quickly, is an aura reading by itself is either physically capturing the aura or intuitively perceiving the colors or patterns. So it doesn't necessarily have to be you look at a person and you straight up see a ball of light around them. It could be that, but it might not be that. So you might like be able to pick up on it like energetically. So maybe you're looking at someone and you're just feeling this specific color. It could be like that.
I like that you put that you can be feeling the color, because that goes to thinking back to if you're just walking along and you a thought pops into your head and it's just a random thought. That's what it makes me think of.
Sometimes when I'm doing regular tarot readings for people, I will just get like for instance, I could be doing a reading. I've done one before where I'll get an overall feeling of just blue, and it'll be like a very specific shade. Like too, it's like it's not just the color. It will be like I could literally like go look through paint samples and I could find it. You know what I mean? I've had that before. Beth also asked, so how do you focus? And I'm going to not answer that right now because we're going to give some tips in the later in the live that will probably answer your question. And
if we don't, then we can go back to it.
Yeah, if when we're at the end, we'll ask again for questions. And if we did not cover sort of where you were trying to grab at specifically, then totally ask again. And Tammy, no worries, we'll catch you in the replay.
All right. So moving on, these energy fields are visual representation influenced by thoughts, emotions, and spiritual state to gain insight into a person's energy and current state. Aura readers interpret shapes and colors to gain insight. All colors have meanings, not meetings, I swear. Some practitioners focus on the colors within specific chakras, and some practitioners consider overall patterns, colors, and intensities. Aura and tarot together provides a more holistic perspective on a person's energy, personality, and potential. Aura can provide a broader context for tarot interpretations, with colors and patterns serving as a foundation for understanding a tarot read. Combining the two allows a more personalized approach to the spiritual guidance.
Also, Cheyenne mentioned that sometimes people use chakras in relation to colors. If you're doing an aura reading, you yourself as the reader might not base your colors to chakras. You might base your colors like on like a different meanings wheel. Like for instance, if you're reading for yourself, this is where also aura readings can get into it. Is for instance, I might not look at the color pink the same way Cheyenne looks at the color pink. So it really depends on who your reader is. And some people only do chakra-based readings. Some people do a lot of different ones. For me, how I'm reading the colors more depends on how my mood is also in relation to the color. And I do look at chakras to some extent, but then I also sort of look at more of like the I don't know, the traditional like emotion color wheel in relation to that as well. Does that make sense what I'm saying, Cheyenne?
Yes.
Okay. Giselle said, do you personally think that readings done with a camera can actually, do you personally think that the readings done with a camera actually legit? I think she's asking if like, for instance, if you didn't were reading for me right now, if it could be legit because we're over a camera, I think is what she's asking. So Giselle, if that's not what you're asking, definitely word that again. I'm gonna give her a second to see if that's what she's asking before we respond. Patience says, I think it would help with the chakras too, and that she was writing that when she said it. And Patience responded to Giselle's comment and said that she's had them and she does think that they're a little bit accurate. Miranda says, I agree. I tend to see them more along the lines of emotion color wheel, as you called it. And Giselle said yes. Okay, so she's asking if you think over the phone is accurate. If you'd like to answer that one first, you can. So I just talked a lot.
Yeah, I think it can be accurate. It's again, it goes back to how you perceive it, how you recognize things, and what you believe.
Yeah, I guess it could also do like how well your reader can do it over a video call. I guess it also depends on how, I'm gonna say this kind of jumps into later. I guess it also depends on if your reader is looking at your aura through their physical eyes or not.
Yeah, and most when it came to first time aura readers, it was done by simply utilizing a specific type of camera that captured the color of different energy fields that radiated off of the person.
That
or
says
or plan.
Oops, sorry.
Sorry.
It's okay. Not seeing each other is gonna make that happen. It's okay. That said, auras change, don't they? Or am I wrong?
You are correct. Auras can change, and they are meant to change through different emotions, through different life changes, through different life cycles. Your aura is always changing, and it does. How do I want to word that? Sorry. And there are specific auric fields. There is a specific auric field, which is your life's path, and that field has specific rings like the chakras that are already built into you the colors that they chose, but your actual auric field itself that surrounds you, your current energy fields that you radiate, change all the time, if that makes sense.
It does. What I was gonna word vomit was kind of what you were saying, but worded a little differently. I was gonna call it like your soul's aura maybe doesn't change, rather than like your soul's aura maybe doesn't change, but your human everyday aura will change. But I didn't know how to word it. You worded it a hell of a lot better than that was worded. So
Did the word vomit make sense?
it did. It made sense to me. And then what I was word vomiting was pretty much the same thing you were word vomiting, just in different relations.
My child wants to know how they change. Can you answer that one?
Okay, so I'm gonna refer to what you were talking about with like through different lives. I'm gonna call it your soul's aura is what I'm gonna call it. Nobody quote that. That is just something I just pulled out of my random. So, but that I would say isn't going to change because that's something that goes through your past lives if that's something that you believe and that sticks with you. So like maybe someone is just always like a white or a yellow because their soul is always that.
You.
Thanks, Cheyenne. But then let's talk about I'm gonna call it your human, your day-to-day aura is with quotes again. I just pulled that term out of my butt. Is what I'm gonna call it. That is more. I'm gonna relate it to emotions, but it's not necessarily only tied to emotions. So think about if you're having a day where you were just a ball of fury and anger that day, your aura is probably going to lean towards more like that. It could be red, it could be fiery. It's not going to be like a tranquil blue, maybe, if you're not having that kind of day. But it's not just tied to solely emotions. It could be more deeply rooted in things going on. It could be affected also environmentally. So maybe you were having a really good time, but you were just overloaded by so much negative energy that it quite literally changed how your aura was rubbing off. Does that make sense, Cheyenne? Or am I just rambling?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Environmental factors, career factors, your job, what's going on in your job, home, home factors, and your emotions. It all leads to how the different energy fields are because it goes by how much you produce and how do I want to, the more intense they are, the more.
I think I have a way to word it. So I'm going to say, for example, let's say your base, your resting aura, your soul aura, your resting aura, let's say it's a peaceful blue, okay? Very calm. You're a relaxed, chill person. But let's say you don't have as strong of shields around you. Your aura is not radiating as strong. If you're in a really muddied environment, it has more odds for those environmental factors to change how you're feeling rather than if you were like had a lot more stronger barriers than your environmental factors. Probably you're not going to change your aura as much. But things are bound to change it because you're not going to go through life always feeling one place. And also, you're going to want it to change because you want to grow and you're going to want to evolve and you're going to want to feel the different things and go through the different phases to evolve, basically, if that makes sense. I feel like I got kind of deep with that one. But
No, I like how you worded that.
okay, does anybody have any more questions? Or does that answer them and then we'll dive into the next thing if we don't have any more questions? Do you have any comments on what I said, or did I sum that up pretty good? That said, thank you, so I think we answered it.
All right. Great. Perfect. I do not have anything else to add. I think you said that perfectly.
Awesome.
So why would we want to do a aura read with tarot? It helps you gain insight for self-discovery, understanding energy patterns, and promoting personal growth. It'll help you gain guidance and personal insight. It reveals one's energetic signature. It helps you understand emotions,
Mhm.
thoughts, and overall well-being. Explores the inner self and identifies imbalances. How do you do a read for yourself? You want to set the tone, know what you're trying to discover or what question you are seeking answers for. Allow yourself to find a place when you can, oh, no, where you can concentrate and be at peace. Have a physical picture of yourself or use a reflective surface such as water, a mirror, or a window. Find a spot you can focus your eyes on, such as slightly above your head or at your hands. Relax your eyes and allow your vision to go slightly out of focus. Look for shapes, glows, or colors. These are what you are looking for to interpret. How to connect with self. Allow yourself to be in a meditative state. Not necessarily meditate, but a calming,
A tranquil state.
yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sing or dance around to help raise your vibrations. Place objects around you that you have a strong connection with. Use musical sounds such as playing the drums or using a singing bowl. Play your favorite music or go to your favorite spot or spots. And offer yourself your own favorite foods, plants, or objects.
So, how to do readings for other people, though. So before you're doing your reading, you're going to want to make sure that you know what you're looking for specifically. So whether you're looking for just their personal energy and their aura, maybe you're looking for like a specific question, what's muddling their aura, etc. So before you start doing your reading, you're going to want to get yourself into like your mode or your place to do your reading, which I was talking about, finding that calm place. Basically what you would do before you start to do any reading. And so when you're doing your aura reading, a photo or physically being able to see them is needed, arguably, unless you could astral project to see them, or maybe you can see them in your mind's eye in their current state to visualize their current aura. But I'm going to just leave that at that because that just depends on what you believe and what you can do. So to do the reading, you are basing your reading off of not only the cards, but also their aura specifically. If you can't see someone's aura, you could use the cards to determine their aura. So there is another roundabout that you could do this. Let's say that you can't physically see anybody's aura, but let's say you have a deck specifically. Maybe it's not designed specifically to tell aura. Maybe it is. I don't know. I did not look up if there is decks to see someone's aura, but there probably is. That might fall more under Oracle though. But regardless, let's say you connect it to your tarot deck in such a way that you can confidently tell someone's current aura based off of their tarot, like your tarot reading. Then you could arguably use that deck, using the right deck for the job, to tell their aura and then do your reading that way. But delivering the message after you do the reading would be done just like any other reading. We've discussed ways to deliver messages in our Tea with Tarot Live from September 8th, 2024. And its title is What's the Tea on Tarot? In-Depth Breakdown of a Reading. And so you would obviously replace certain aspects in a regular reading with the facts of their aura, but the other aspects would be the same process as any other reading. But how would you like connect with other people, whether that be focusing on their aura or just connecting to do the reading in general? You could use a up-to-date or current photo or video calling them or physically standing in front of them to see their aura. You could use old photos to connect to one's spirit and psychically tap into, like I said, see in their mind's eye their current aura, because you would not be reading the aura on the old photo of them. You would be using the old photo of them as sort of like I don't know, a tool to connect more, to psychically see their physical physical current aura. Does that make sense? What did I just say
Yeah.
makes sense? Okay, great. I was like, the more I was explaining that, I was like, I don't know if that worded right. But so having physical representations in general to help you connect to them. So even like, let's say I was looking at Cheyenne, if I was having a hard time connecting to her, I could have things that maybe represent Cheyenne around me to help me figure that out. You can listen to their favorite songs or music, or twofold, maybe not their favorite song or music, but if you just ask them to think of a song right now off the top of their head of what their like vibe is, listening to that could help you figure it out or connect more. If possible, you could go to their favorite places or a place that they would want to go. In person, you could focus or defocusing your eyes on like in connection to them. You could also hold hands. And then also any of the ways that Cheyenne listed with connecting to yourself, you would just obviously replace that with whatever you would do for the other person, but those things could be used as well.
Absolutely.
Which
And
I was
just
gonna say, do you
remember,
want
you can also, instead of songs or music, just their favorite sounds, like maybe they like listening to birds chirping, or they like listening to the rain, or listening to the thunder. You can ask them what they're vibing with on that as well. Maybe
you're
you
in
can
person,
go
you could
to a
listen to
spot
their
that you
heartbeat.
like that has those sounds.
In person, you could use a good old stethoscope. You could listen to their heartbeat. You could connect to them like that. Maybe that's your vibe. You were just
Patience
talking.
says those are super creative ideas for long distance readings.
I'm glad. Because I know that later in this video, having a good idea how to do these long distance might be helpful. So,
Absolutely.
how would you make your own spread? So I know we've learned throughout this tarot program that spreads very popular. So I made sure to include this for you guys. How would you make your own spread for an aura reading? So whether you're reading for yourself or another person, you would first need to, again, have your purposes for your reading. What are you wanting to learn from this reading? What questions are you wanting to ask? You're going to hear me say that a lot. And you probably, if you've been watching all the tarot videos, probably heard me say that a lot. Intentions are important. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So once you have the purpose of your reading, you're going to need to decide how detailed you're going to break down the reading. What do I mean by this? This means it's time to choose like what specific questions you're going to want to ask, and or what you want the cards to represent, or things maybe you want the cards to represent, and also how many. So what do I mean by this? Because that might sound a little confusing if you don't ever make spreads. So let me give you an example. So for an example, step 1, my goal for this reading, example reading, is to see what is currently going on with my partner's aura. So in regard to specific questions or topics for the card to represent, let's say I'm going to use questions. So this is a question-based example. Card 1 could be, what is the color of their aura? Card 2 could be, what is causing this aura color? And then card 3 could be, how strong is their aura projecting? So another example of spreads would be a topic example, so where each card represents a topic rather than a question. So card 1 could just be the topic of colors and meanings. Card 2 could be the topic of causes. Card 3 could be the topic of effects and results. So similar gist, but still different. Also, it should be noted that each question or topic does not have to be limited to one card. It could be multiple cards representing the same question. And then also, spreads can be as big or as small as you want, and the detail level is up to personal preference.
Absolutely. We always say that we expect at least 3 cards because in a general sense, 3 cards will give you a meat, to grab on.
Something in
But if
between our buns.
feel if you feel that you can do more, never let that stop you. And I'm not even just
Also, you can
talking
do
about for the
less.
program.
You can
I'm
do
talking
less.
about for any time you do a reading.
Yeah. But 3 is just what we say. You can one card readings are a thing. One card pulls are a thing. I wanted to use 3 cards for the example of how to do a spread, so that way there was a little bit more there, so that you could like understand a little better. But just because we say 3 cards does not mean if it's less than 3 cards, it's not a valuable reading. We want people, for the program's purposes, to just sort of be on the same page. But a 2-card reading or a 1-card reading is just as valuable. I want to throw that in there.
Absolutely. So some spread examples that you can find made by other people. This one
The example
is
that I gave was made by me, since we should probably preference what examples are from who. The one I just said was made by me. Cheyenne, you pulled these ones from somebody else, right?
correct.
Okay.
So this one is specifically designed to connect with your aura. It is a 5-card spread, and it is questions. What does my aura look like right now? What does my aura feel like right now? What is stuck in my auric field? How can I do? Oh yeah, how can I? What can I? Sorry, I can't read.
It's okay.
What can I do to cleanse my aura? And how can I deepen my connection to my aura? You can also turn around and use those my's and turn them to you or your person's name if you were trying to use this for somebody else. Just so that you are well aware of that as well. Another example I have for you is a chakra tarot spread. So the way I'm going to read them is it goes card 7 down through 1, because 1 is on the bottom, and you would build your tarot cards up like this, like the Lincoln Logs, if that makes sense.
Is it like this? You can see me on the computer. I can't see Cheyenne, but hold on. There we go. Like this. This is horrible because I can't hold them in the air. Is it like this, or are we doing it sideways?
When all of you, or when your hands stop moving, I will let you know.
Obviously, that's not 7, but you know what I mean.
So yeah, it would go in a straight line up.
Oh, so just all of them? We're just building a tower?
Yeah, so like, hold on, let's see if I can.
A snake.
Yeah. So
there we go. That's a great description, a snake. There we go. So like that.
But the card 1 is down here, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
Blast Facebook for not letting me see you. It's a crime. You can continue. Sorry.
It is a crime. I'm sorry, hold on. I gotta close that. Okay. So now, keeping in mind how we just put them, I'm gonna read it from card 7 to 1. Card 7, how can I connect with my higher self? How can I strengthen my intuition? How can I communicate more clearly? How can I open myself to love? How can I let myself shine? How can I use my creative energy? How can I feel more safe and grounded? Does everybody understand why it goes card 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7? Because it's going from your bottom chakra all the way up.
That's like me, I know the answer. Is everybody that's here, by the way, still following? Just to check in. The chat got a little slow, so I'm just checking in while Cheyenne goes over things.
I'll see if I could drop the pictures in the chat of the specific. Actually, I'll put it on the event page so that it doesn't disappear.
Smart. So look for them on the event page. And if you're on YouTube, use your great imagination.
Yeah. If I can figure out how to drop them on YouTube, I'll try. But
That's why I attempted to hold the cards up, but it wasn't going very well. And Miranda says yes, just taking notes.
not a problem. And then the last spread I have for you is a self-discovery tarot spread, which goes right along with the auras, your auric field. So it's a 5-card spread. Card 1, who are you right now? Your true and authentic self. Your hidden gifts and how you bring light to the world is card 2. Card 3, what is holding you back at this time? Card 4, how can you step into and embrace your true self? And card 5, what awaits you on this journey?
So we're going to give it a second because I'm going to do an example aura reading for Cheyenne. And it's just an example reading because I can't see Cheyenne. Okay. So the accuracy of this reading is going to be debatable. But it is just the principle. So that way you guys can see what I'm doing. So obviously, if I could see Cheyenne while I am shuffling my cards, I would be looking at Cheyenne, probably on like a defocus like eye. So it probably look weird for her. But my eyes would be defocused and I'd be shuffling my cards. And then I had 3 cards pop out literally all at the same time on top of each other like this. So those would be the 3 that I would go with. And so, whoa. So they're very all the same vibe. So let's say if I was doing an aura reading and I pulled this, I would be happy as hell because it all goes together. So we have the Page of Wands, the Page of Swords, and the Empress. And they would all go together very well. So I would probably be going along the vibes of, let's see, for aura, I'm gonna go like, think sunset where the sky is like the yellow orange with like a little like blue still from the day. And so with this, so if I was doing Cheyenne's aura, what I would take of this is, again, this is just an example reading, but I'm gonna take on that with like advancing and like womanhood and like mothering and like just really adopting that like fostering and like nurturing role and trying to like step into like being like a mother, being like a wife, being a crone, being a woman, being a feminine energy in nature, and like equally going after things emotionally and logically. So your aura is like a lot of like curiosity and like loving. You're like really like stepping into like the spring. So, but if I was just going colors, I would, like I said, it would be like that, like kind of getting a little dark, but like sunsetting. So it's like that like glistening layer. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Is that an example, Cheyenne? Is that an acceptable example?
Yes.
Thanks. Does that make sense though? Would you like to add any comments for anybody trying to do an aura reading?
It makes it really, really hard when you can't see each other.
Yeah, not being able to see each other sucks. But as I said, just an example, because like I can't see Cheyenne. She could be sad as hell right now. No offense, but like I wouldn't be able to tell because I can't see her. But that's how I would do one if I was just sort of basing it off.
But no, and then you're not looking necessarily for the traditional meaning of the cards.
Oh yeah,
You're
it doesn't have to be
looking,
traditional. But whenever I see the Empress, like there is no like, for me it's just always that, regardless of traditional meaning or not. Also, it's
you're
kind of hard to not be earthy with this card.
yeah, and you're looking more for how those cards are making you feel, because the emotion is what's really gonna hone in on the true message behind their auric energies and the energies that they're producing.
Let me read this question for you, and I feel like you're gonna have a good answer for it. So Beth said, you had mentioned about when looking for aura, you should look for the colors or shapes. I don't understand the shapes, or should I, oh my gosh, or should I say that I'm not sure how shapes represent the color of a person's aura or how they can tell the color from a shape unless you're saying that if you see a stop sign shapes, I'm automatically seeing red. I don't know if my comment or question makes any sense. So in reference to like the shapes or patterns in seeing auras.
I think you're actually right on where, you're actually right, generally going down the right pattern. What shapes, when when you're looking at shapes, shapes are more of an inner eye thing, intuitionally based thing. So yeah, when you think of stop sign, you think of red. Red is
You could
in
also do it
a,
as if you see a red heart, you might think of it differently as a red stop sign. I wanted
yeah.
to put that in there with what you were saying.
You might think of the red stop sign as a well, other than stop, anything that revolves around stopping, taking a break, or
Slowing down.
remaining still, or slowing down. When you think of a red heart, you might be thinking of love, passion, gratitude, a expression of
And then the
feelings.
same like with patterns. It might not be a specific shape, but like for instance, a like swirly line might be different than harsh jagged lines in a pattern.
Yeah. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
I think that makes sense. I think we cooked something up with that. So there's that. Well, if you want to give us our special moment.
Well, while I'm waiting on you to let us know if that made sense, I want to make sure, do not put this in the comments. Anybody who is joining us for this round of the partnership, the secret word for this round is deja vu. Again, please do not put this in the comments. Do not type it anywhere where anybody can see it. If you are joining us for the partnership program for this time around, the secret word is deja vu.
Giselle, great question. For interpreting colors, is it based on how you perceive the color or based on a set meaning?
Um,
That depends on you as a reader, I guess. It could be your style. Because if you're reading for another person, you might not want to base it so much on how you perceive the color because that's going to be a little different. But you could also argue that you're the one doing the reading, so the emotion that you're looking for is presenting with that color. So my opinion, I'll let Cheyenne give hers in just a second, is it really just depends on you as a practitioner. If you want to do your readings like that, specifically with how you perceive it, based on a set meaning, it could be a mix. It could be you pick which one based on who you're doing the reading for. That's sort of how I do it. Go ahead.
when it comes to colors, they do have a set meaning. I do have a
Okay.
book.
Yeah.
I thought it was upstairs. I think I might have, well, it is upstairs regardless, but I thought it was in my room. It must not be in my room. Um, that does go over the auric colors. I will post the name of the book. I'm pretty sure I did post it at one point in time in one of my personal lives. As far as if it didn't make full sense for what I was going over with the shapes, it's not, sometimes like the best way I can think of is like if you're staring at if you want to go with a physical seeing. Say you're staring up at the sky and the sun is blazing down in your eyes, and once you look away and you blink, you can start seeing the shapes, whether it be a circle or um, bubbles or a square or something. Those are physical energy fields from staring up at the sky and the sun's rays beating down at you. That is physical shapes. Or when staring at a flame and you turn away and you start seeing different shapes or different pattern like things when you close your eyes. Those are from the energy fields of that candle flame. Does that make sense?
I
Those
think
are
that
physical representations, physically seeing them. If you can't, if you're not understanding what I meant by the not like the mind's eye. Yeah, I feel.
yeah. Um, Miranda says, I sometimes feel the color I may get a whoa. Sometimes I sometimes feel the color I may get a cloudy day slash rainy day and then feel a light gray, meaning sadness, or a sunny day, happiness. Not sure if that makes sense. That does make sense.
It
It
does.
didn't make sense
Absolutely.
when I was trying to read it for a second, but it made sense. It made sense once I got it out. I will say sometimes trying to explain some of this stuff, sometimes it's a little hard to explain. It sounds a little long-winded sometimes, just trying to figure out the right way to like get it out to try to explain it. So if you're getting confused on anything that we're saying, just totally ask comments. You're not going to be annoying if you ask a bunch of questions. That's totally fine. I think I said ask comments, but I meant to say ask questions in the comments.
You're
Carol
good.
says, I can't believe I missed last month's sign up. I watched the live and forgot about the sign up. I'm sorry, Carol.
You always have this time.
So let's scooch on like right along away from aura readings. If you have any questions about aura readings, you can throw them in the questions and we will see them and we will respond to any more questions about aura readings after the past life section, just so we don't get the information confused, anybody trying to take notes. But if you come up with an aura question, you can still put it in the chat. Even while we're talking about past life, we will come to back to the question. But hopping into past life readings, what is a past life reading? A tarot reading exploring a past life or aspects that include a past life. This method of reading uses all aspects of the cards from traditional meanings to non-traditional symbolic imagery and everything in between. There are many types of past life readings, such as karmic past life readings or readings to explore specific aspects of past lives, such as gender, social status, family life. Some backgrounds to do with past life readings is that there's a lot of belief in that's not what I was trying to say at all. The belief in reincarnation, where a soul or spirit can experience multiple lives, is commonly related with these readings because without the belief of experiencing multiple past lives, a past life reading wouldn't really have any value to you, because if you don't believe in past lives, then you would have no past life to experience in that reading, if that makes sense. So the belief in reincarnation or the interest in the belief in reincarnation is sort of relevant in aspect of trying to do a past life reading. Did I say that in a way that makes sense, Cheyenne?
Yes.
Okay. So why would you want to do a past life reading? There's a bunch of reasons why you might want to do one. So maybe to tap into the subconscious mind and access information about past lives, karmic patterns, and or the influence of past experiences on your present life or a future life, or just in future in this present life. So you could also maybe want to do one to gain insight to your current life, understands patterns and relationships, also maybe opening up potential healing opportunities. If you hear any really heavy breathing, I'm sorry, my dog is acting a fool. So allow yourself, another a reason you might want to do this reading is to allow yourself to heal from past traumas or release lingering emotions. Also to deal with, what is it, generational trauma, things passing through a long time, that would be a reason you might want to do one of these. Also, maybe to gain insight on your life's purpose or align your choices to match with your soul's journey. Carol says, is this month's tarot sign up gonna be about aura readings. I've never done that before, so just wondering. Well, Carol, I'll answer your question at the end of this live. All right. You're up, Cheyenne.
So, how to read for yourself. Use a deck that you're connected with. Cleanse any old lingering energies and set up your space. Allow yourself to get comfortable, set the tone of your reading, and clear your mind of everything else but your intentions. With intentions in mind, charge your deck by shuffling your cards. This is where you can choose to free pull your amount of cards, or you can use a specifically designed past life karmic spread. Interpret your cards both traditionally and non-traditionally, and then allow yourself to truly connect to your reading and understanding the message it has provided for you. Trust in yourself, your cards, and your intuition. Can't speak. How to connect with yourself. Allow yourself to be in a meditative state once again. Again, place objects around you that you have a strong connection with. Use musical sounds such as drums or the singing bowl, chimes. You play your favorite music. Go to your favorite spots. Play your favorite tunes. Offer yourself your favorite foods, plants, and objects. Use your own favorite scented candles, oils, or incense. Enjoy your own favorite beverage, meal, or snack.
If you are doing a past life reading in particularly, and you're doing one for yourself, is there anything that you find that you often lean towards doing or having around or whatever before you're doing a past life reading?
When I'm doing past life readings, it definitely helps when I am utilizing that person's favorite scents or a picture of them, or listening to their favorite tunes, or for you, for example, because I know I've done a past life reading for
Yeah, I
you,
think you've done
a couple
at least two.
of them.
I think two.
I know I did a past life one with a whole past life aura
With
one
that
for you.
candlestick. Yeah. I remember that one. That one was good.
Um, for you, I sat outside because
Like,
I know that's your favorite spot to be, as well as my favorite spot to be, and it's something that we connect with personally. So I did that. I personally went outside and connected outside with you for your reading.
I was probably outside too while you were doing it, because I'm always outside.
Probably. So yeah, for me, it's one of those, I need to find something that you are the strongest on connecting with at that time.
Something that you feel is like deep to a person's soul to like connect with them. Something that might carry over through lives, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds pretty good.
Um, how to read for others. Again, intuitively choose your deck to use for that person. Cleanse any old lingering energies and set up your space. Allow yourself to get comfortable and grounded. Set the tone for your reading and clear your mind of anything else but your intentions. With your intentions in mind, charge your deck by shuffling your cards. Again, this is where you choose to free pull your amount of cards, or you can use a specifically designed past life or karmic spread. Interpret your cards both traditionally and non-traditionally. Look for patterns and themes that paint the picture. Uh, some guided questions when doing past life reads to keep in mind are relationship to nature. What is the relationship between the two souls in the past life? Karma. What positive, negative karma was created and carried over? Purpose. What lessons and purpose was served in the past life? Influence. on current life. How do these past lives shape their current experiences / relationships? Give me a second so I can grab a drink.
No worries. I drank all of my water already. So
I left mine on the other side of the room.
dang. Well, while Cheyenne's grabbing some water, if anybody has any questions so far over past life readings or just any comments on past life readings that they would like to share, go ahead and put them and we will read them.
I'll let you wait for that. All right. Where did I? Where did I? Sorry, don't mind me. I'm just making sure I don't lose my place.
Strengths and weaknesses.
All right. So, strengths, weaknesses. What strengths and weaknesses from past lives are carried over? Downfall and death. What led to their downfall and how did they die in the past life? And then current life purpose. What is their life's purpose and how do their past lives affect it? These are, again, guided questions to keep in mind when doing a past life reading.
So Carol says tips on how to do a past life reading. Well, Cheyenne's about to read our tips on how to connect to other people when doing our past life reading. So listen closely while she reads those, and then if you still need some more ideas after, then go ahead and let us know, Carol. And Patience says she's never really done any either of these types of readings, so she's really excited.
I
On that
prefer
note,
past life.
oh yeah, I think personally I prefer aura, so it was like a nice balance, and that's why I really wanted to do these together. So, because you're really good at past life readings.
I can really connect to the past for whatever reason.
And I'm really good at vibing with people, so I like auras. I will say, Patience, though, with having never done any of the readings, that with both of these, a lot of people feel a little nervous to do the readings and totally don't. Like, it's like with any reading, you're not going to be Picasso the second you do it. It's going to take practice. Like, for instance, I don't feel as confident in my past life readings as I would in getting a past life reading from Cheyenne because I don't practice past life readings as much. But like, if it was how confident am I in past life or aura, I'm a lot more confident in an aura reading. But I would still give a past life a try, a good go, because everything is within practicing. So if it's a little difficult for the first time or you haven't tried it, don't let that discourage you. Be like patience, get that excitement. I just wanted to add that.
Oh, I agree. And it's not that I'm not confident in my aura reads, it's just I prefer past life reads over them because it doesn't take as much energy out of me.
That's how I feel. Reverse.
I always feel like aura reads take more energy from me, and I think I connect better with the past life reads because of my connection with the dead.
I would say like with past life readings, like I can do them. I don't do them very often solely for the purpose of they take a lot of freaking effort for me to do them. And that's because I am a very like I very much connect to like the elements and like the nature and like the flow. Like I'm with the wind.
You're
I'm dancing
a
with the
free
wind.
spirit, as I always say.
Yes. So aura readings vibe a lot more with me. So if I'm sitting and I'm trying to connect to a past life, like damn, I gotta focus. So that takes a lot more effort. So I think that we have the yin to each other's yang.
Absolutely.
Patience says, I love that for both of you. And then she said, thank you, I needed to hear that. And then she said, I was nervous the first time I did one with Ellen. And so she's hopeful. Ellen is so sweet. She does great readings and she's so sweet. So I'm so glad that your first time was with Ellen. And
Absolutely.
Beth, we will catch you in the replay.
Absolutely. And you're welcome. So moving on, trust in your intuition and allow it to guide you through the story being told. How to connect with others. Having physical representations around to help you connect to them. Listen to their favorite songs or music. If possible, go to their favorite place or places or to a place they want to go. In person, focusing on their energy fields. Indulge in their favorite beverage, meal, or snack. Do an offering in honor of your person to ensure a stronger connection. And allow yourself to be in a meditative state, or use their favorite scented candles, oils, or incense.
Also, you could do what I call like a sit with. So like, let's say your person is not available for a video call and you cannot be with them in person. You could use a couple photos of them. You could use photos throughout like different time period also. And you could quite literally just have their photo and just sit with their photo and just connect to them for a little bit. Like you could just have a drink and sit and connect to them, or sit on your porch and connect to them and sit for a little while until you really feel like you're abiding with their energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carol says we definitely have that type of energy. Thank you, Carol. And then Patience says, I have a connection with the dead too, so I'm wondering if she'll pick that up quickly. I will say that if you have a connection with the dead, then it will probably help with your connection to past life readings. Not saying you have to have that, but it could possibly benefit you. I know that's what Cheyenne was saying really helps her doing hers.
It does make it easier for me.
So how do you make your own spread? Again, whether this is going to sound a little similar to aura readings, but a little different. So again, whether you're reading for yourself or another person, you're going to have a purpose for your reading. I told you were going to get tired of me saying that. Intention is important. What are you wanting to learn from this reading? What questions are you wanting to ask? So once you have your purpose of the reading, you're going to need to decide how detailed you're going to break down the reading. So this means you're going to need to choose what specific questions you have and what you want the cards to represent. So what do I mean by this? Let me give you another example. So my goal for this reading is to see how a past life is affecting my partner's current life. So using that goal in regards to specific questions or topics, I'm going to give a reading example for questions and then again a reading example for topics. So a 4-card spread example could be card 1, what were you like in this past life? Card 2, what is something you struggled with in your past life? Card 3, how is this past life affecting this current life? And card 4, from your past life, what from your past life can help you get past the hurdles you're dealing with in this life? So another example, a 3-card example, but for topics, could be card 1, the past life, card 2, the purpose/message, and then card 3, relation to this life. And that is 2 examples on how you could do a spread. But again, it should be noted that each question or topic is not limited to 1 card. It can be multiple cards for the same question or topic. Also, spreads can be as big or as small as you want them, and as detailed as you want them. It's up to personal preference. Let me stop and look at comments. Patience says she really likes the idea of using favorite incense, and that she's definitely excited to try it. Carol said,
it helps.
Oh, I echoed
Sorry.
that really bad. No, you're okay. I have my hand right next to the speaker. It startled me. Carol says, when I've been reading for people recently, I've been seeing images and smelling smells, which is so weird because I've only had that happen once or twice. And then Miranda said, me too, happens frequently. I almost get movie real images such as sounds, smells, or etc. And then Carol responded and said, yeah, it's actually really amazing. To me, that really, I just did a live on Claire abilities, so that's exactly where my mind goes when you say that.
Me too.
I mean, if you have Claire abilities, them like happening while you're doing divination is really common because Claire abilities are used in mediumship and divination a lot. So let's get some actual spread examples. Both of these examples, I don't know. Did I get these? I'm pretty sure I pulled them from other people. Did I? I don't remember. I don't remember if I pulled these from another person or if I like just wrote them. If they're typed on the document, right?
Yeah, they're typed.
Okay, I think I wrote them, but I'm pretty sure I wrote them. But whenever I do spreads, it's really late at night, and I like scribble them down on a sticky note, so I wake up dazed and I don't remember like half writing the spread. Just a little tidbit about me. That's how for a lot of our tarot partnerships, if there's a spread, I usually wrote it, and I usually wrote it at like 3 a.m. half asleep on a sticky note because that's how I do my best thinking. But anyways, spread 1 example is a 5-card spread. Card 1, who were you? Card 2, what did you do? Card 3, what challenges did you face? Card 4, how did you die or where did you die? And then card 5, what lessons did you learn? Spread number 2 is a 4-card spread, and card number 1 is the lesson or the purpose of your this past life. Card number 2 is the impact on your psyche. Card number 3 is the main things you need to heal from in this past life. And then card number 4 is how it shaped your current life. And then Miranda said, yep, my clear abilities pop up in all aspects of my practice, including my tarot readings. And then Carol said, yes, I watched and was like, oh, yes, yeah, that's me. Yep. All right. Well, if anybody has any questions, Abby, go. On past life readings, totally drop them for us, and we'll look at them before we run away from past life readings.
Run away, run away.
So, Cheyenne, do you wanna give us a little example? Do you have tarot cards near you? I can't see you.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Not being able to see you, major downfall. I'm big mad at Facebook for that. I'll sign a petition. Bring back the camera. Nice.
So, woohoo. They're all good for this fall. Bear with me.
Bear with me. Carl said, how do the cards represent the things, if you get me? That's where non-traditional comes in. And symbols and looking at colors and things like that. Because, for instance, like if you're doing a general tarot reading, you can go really traditional and just look at the book. But you're not going to look at the book, and the book is not going to tell you that Cheyenne died in a volcano. Like, it's not going to tell you that. So if you're gonna you're gonna need to look at the card. You're going to need to look at symbolism, colors, anything that you like, random thoughts that you have while you're doing the reading. That's where you're gonna take in basically all aspects of senses and include that in your reading. And you're gonna really want to use all aspects of your cards. I'm gonna say if you're doing a past life reading, connecting to your deck is important. But Cheyenne, when she's doing her example reading, I'm sure will show you where she's kind of grabbing things and like explain to you how she's coming up with what she's coming up with, and hopefully that answers your question. Miranda says volcano, badass Cheyenne. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so I hate the fact that my cards say one thing and I did not want that. So bear with me.
You can explain that if you want. You could say, oh, like the cards are showing one thing, and that's not what you want. Unless it's a message you don't want to say, and that's why you don't want it.
It has nothing to do with the messages, ladies, and I promise you on that.
Okay, because I was about to say I've only ever had that happen once, where I did a tarot reading on like live, and I was like, I don't really think that's something I should say on the live. It's only ever happened one time. Usually the cards are on like.
So I had to switch it around. I had to also change it. So I only wanted 3. It said
did it
6.
give you a bunch? Oh, okay. Not being able to see you again. It's a downfall. I'm playing blind.
So I'm gonna just quickly go over what
you can
this
just go into
is
detail a lot on one card and briefly do the rest if you want.
the this top row for those who can see me, and Sarah, when if you catch it
Yeah,
on the
I'll watch the
replay, to
replay.
just at least look at them, I will go into it in a better way. Just bear with me.
Bear with me, bear with me. I'll catch the replay, guys. No worries.
So the top three on the top row are going to definitely be talking strictly about past life. These two came out together, and this one is going to be talking about her current life. So just for everybody's reference here, because I don't want to keep shaking my camera, and the more I move, the more my camera shakes. So I got reverse Seven of Swords, reverse Ace of Swords, reverse Page of Cups. I'm going, and I feel like this is deja vu.
It do be like that.
Upright
Be
the
why.
Lovers,
Now you
reversed
see why
the
we picked
World, and reversed Queen of Pentacles.
that. Dang, dang, dang.
So, in
That's
her
so funny.
past life, she dealt with a lot of heartache, a lot of personal heartache for her own personal greediness, and
Deleted.
it was her greediness towards knowledge, not just fortune, but fortune is
Knowledge.
definitely in there
Deleted.
by the determination of the dragon that is, on putting the swords on fire.
Greed
She
for
tried
knowledge in my past life is the most realistic thing I've ever heard in my life.
She tried her hardest here in the Ace of Swords to think that she can do everything on her own, which her pride and her
Deleted.
determination is what led her to drowning in her sorrows here in the Page of Cups.
It do be like that. I probably tried to break into some library or something. Probably got deleted.
She had a very long line of people and that were dropping at her feet, falling in love with her for her knowledge, not for herself, which that also in return helped with how she shaped her world upside down and led her down through her downfalls.
It also do be like that.
And due to that, here is where the Queen of Pentacles comes into play. It is a warning to heed yourself and your fortunes and your how do I want to word that nicely? Your
It's okay. Just say it. Just say it.
greediness
Just say it. Just delete me with a
for
shovel.
the power of knowledge that you constantly seek.
You guys want to
Remember
know
that
something
you
funny?
do need to
It's okay.
eh, settle your brain and allow yourself to truly how do I want to word that? Truly focus on current things rather than future things, if that makes sense.
Well, guys,
Don't
since I was a child, my goal
constantly
was knowledge.
push yourself.
When I was a kid, I would always say that my life motto was to gain as much knowledge as possible. And when I was a kid, I never wanted to share it. And then I became a teenager and I switched my life motto to gain as much knowledge as possible and to share as much as
And
possible. So,
just for Sarah's knowledge, I'm gonna get a little closer to the cards for when she goes to the replay.
thank you. But so the pursuit of knowledge running through multiple past lives is darn too inaccurate. And if I was alive back in the age of philosophers and like when like the big libraries were around, I could see myself getting killed because I tried to break into a big library to learn a bunch of stuff. Guilty
I'll
as
also
charged.
send you a picture of it then.
Sounds good. Pretty accurate, Cheyenne. Pretty accurate as always. But see, guys, I just got deleted by my past life, and see, I learned my lesson a little bit, okay? See, I'm sharing my knowledge now. I'm not just keeping it. But I'm still hungry for knowledge. I don't think I'll turn my brain off. I think I'll do that in my next life, okay? I'll do that then.
There, I got past my usual freak out session.
Well,
We
you
did
did
good.
great. You did great. If anybody has any past life reading questions or aura reading questions before we jump into our next partnership program, now would totally be the time to ask. But Cheyenne, you did a great job. Accurate as
Thanks.
always.
I gotta
Still
say,
leading me.
like I said, past life readings just come to me naturally. And when it comes to you, past life readings do not let me do 3.
Thanks. I'm pretty sure last time you ended up with a shit ton of cards you weren't trying for either.
Your first past life reading, I ended up with 8.
Cheyenne was like, girl, stop. I don't need that.
Your second past life reading with the auras was a good almost 12 cards.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Cheyenne was an awesome friend and did a past life reading with a bunch of aura sprinkled into it. That was fabulous. that was a chef kiss of a read. That was great.
That was before we were even offering aura reads, and I was like, yeah, sure. Give
It's
me a
because like I
chance
was
to.
hunting. I like really wanted someone to like do like an aura reading mixed with like an inner child soul reading mixed with like a past life reading. I was like, who the hell is gonna give me my fruit salad I'm looking for? I was like, let me go to Cheyenne. She'll do it. So worked great. You exactly knew what I was looking for. Read my mind. Giselle said she's really excited. Patience said that was really helpful. I think that your reading definitely was helpful. Carol said, Cheyenne, I'm definitely going to ask you for a past life reading. So if you get picked, Carol said if you're willing, you could. And then, yes. Okay. So if we're going to let's hop into our next program. So for our next Terra Partnership program, we encourage you to sign up. And if you couldn't guess, our prompt is going to be to attempt to give your partner either a past life reading or an aura reading, whichever one you pick. You can ask your partner which one they want, or you can just choose which one you want to give your partner. I'm going to repeat that. Whoever is giving the reading can pick. So let's say Cheyenne and I were partners. I'm probably going to give Cheyenne an aura reading, and Cheyenne's probably going to give me a past life reading if I just had to take a guess. But it would be up to me to pick what read I want to give Cheyenne, and it would be up to Cheyenne to pick what read she wants to give me. And they don't have to be the same because I want the reader to be the most confident. Or Cheyenne could say, Sarah, I don't really care which read I'm doing, you pick, and then I would pick which one I wanted, and then I'd pick past life because she's great at it. So it would just depend. I hope that makes sense. So that's the problem.
The dates, so signups are going to run from May 4th, 2025. May the 4th be with you. Sorry.
I was going to say
anyway,
it, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
Through May 10th, 2025. Names go out May 11th at some point. And then the partnership will run from May 11th through May 25th. Now, mind you none, I apologize, ladies. There will be a bigger gap between this partnership and the next one because our Tarot Live isn't going to be done until towards the end of June. But again, it will
It's a nice cool down period.
Yeah, it will give us all a little bit of time, and me personally, a little bit of time to get past sports season before the next set of sports season begins.
It's also the end of May and the beginning of June. It's like crunch time for people that like just got onto summer break. People usually have a lot of crap they're doing. So having that little gap kind of allows for some space. Giselle
Absolutely.
says she wore Baby Yoda stuff all day, and she even had hubby wearing matching socks while he went to work.
Ah, yes. My husband
so Carol knows someone's birthday that is today.
This is my husband's favorite day because he is a Star Wars nerd to a
I've never
T.
seen Star Wars.
Neither did I.
Cheyenne says, not me either.
But it was a part of my wedding.
Miranda says, I have 2 Oracle decks that are amazing with past life reading. Can I add that on top of tarot? So I'm going to say, we say this with, we don't say it, but it's like this with every partnership. If you want to add Oracle in with your tarot, or really any other divination in with your tarot, you can do that, but there has to be tarot. So if you add Oracle, that's okay, but you have to have tarot or it doesn't go with the tarot partnership. But you can totally add Oracle. That is A-okay. And I'll say, I think most of my readings, people do add Oracle in because I think it's just a fan favorite.
I personally, it all depends on what I am feeling.
So I'm going to repeat the dates real quick for everybody. Sign-ups go out today, May 4th. They'll go out after the live, and they go through May 10th. Names will go out some point on May 11th. You'll know because the group chat will go crazy, and you'll get your name. And then the partnership will run from the time that the group chat starts popping off on May 11th through May 25th. And then feedback form will be released May 26th, the day after the partnership ends, just to allow to make sure everything has concluded if anybody's running a little behind. And then the feedback will run from May 26th through May 28th.
Quick recap.
You're so nice to him.
I try to be. I try. He puts up with a lot of my stuff. So a quick recap of the requirements for the program, rules and requirements for the Tarot Partnership Program. If you sign up, you're committing to perform at least one read with your partner each. You have between May 11th and May 25th to both complete your read. You are agreeing to be privately messaged by whom you get partnered with. You must give each other feedback on the reading, what resonated, what doesn't make fully sense, if you could get more clarity on something. Reads can be done via Facebook video chat or just messaging. If you do not complete your read, you cannot sign up for the next partnership sign up. We will be checking. If you do not complete your read 3 times, you will no longer be able to sign up for the partnership program. You acknowledge and agree to be added into a group chat with all participants and crones for communication purposes. The group chat is mandatory in order to participate. You are agreeing to be in the group chat and stay in the group chat. If you need or wish to leave, please let the admin know. You're required to answer all polls, icebreakers, and interactive questions that are dropped in the group chat throughout each partnership. You must keep up with your communication with your partner as well as Sarah and I. Remember to be respectful and courteous to each other in the group chat. This chat is there to communicate, learn, share, and be a safe haven for each practitioner. You are required to fill out the feedback link at the end of the program. The link to this will be dropped in the group chat the day after the partnership concludes. There is a 3-strike rule in place for the Tarot Partnership Program. Strike 1, sit out for the next partnership and complete a trial read with Sarah or I. Strike 2, sit out for 2 partnerships and complete a trial read with Sarah or I. And strike 3, you will no longer be able to participate in the Tarot Partnership Program. Now, please keep in mind, we have never gotten to that point. We just need a system in place.
So yeah, we say at the end of every time Cheyenne reads, our basically copyright. No, just kidding. our big speech at the end of that is just so that way all of the bases are covered. Those are just basically the outline and what would happen if there are issues. Like Cheyenne said, we have never had to implement any things like that because we don't usually run into very many issues, but just in case there is an outlier, we need to have everything addressed so that way we can't say, hey, we covered it if we never covered it. Correct. And also in regards to having to keep up with everything, there is really not that much to keep up with. Cheyenne and I don't ask that very much of you with the partnership, and there's not usually a lot in the group chat, and you'll notice that usually the polls are not very often. They're spaced out very well, and it's not a lot to keep up with. So if you've never signed up, but then Cheyenne reading all that made you kind of not want to sign up, that is just basically to cover everything. It's not that intense.
It's pretty relaxed and laid back, and all the girls are usually wonderful.
Oh yeah, it's always great. Well, that's all I have. So thank you guys for joining us, and I had such a great time doing this live with you, Cheyenne.
Absolutely. I really wish Facebook would get its life together and let us see each other again. That would be
That was
awesome.
apparently we should have never taken that for granted because now it's gone.
I feel that. And for those of you who do like to sign up for the partnership program, before I end this live, I just want to let you guys know that it is already posted in the group. Please go read it into its entirety.
Yeah,
And this video should be uploaded to YouTube by the end of the evening.
Awesome, awesome. Well, blessed be, ladies.
And yes, to answer your question, Carol, the word has already been said. Please go back and watch the replay.
Oh, nice. Thanks. I didn't see that comment. Yeah, the word has been said, and the word was ironic as hell. But yeah. So yeah.
And thank you guys. Thank you for all of you who catch us on the replay, and have yourselves a blessed evening. You're so welcome, patience. Blessed be, ladies.